John McCain just did it again, he needs to go immediately. Over the past year, Arizona Senator John McCain has shown that he is arguably the biggest traitor in Washington, as he has betrayed his party time and time again in his sick quest to take President Donald Trump down. Now, however, it's McCain who could be on the chopping block, as some damning secrets from his own past have leaked showing voters who he really is. Freedom Daily reported that McCain built his entire military career on the fact that he was a supposed war hero, but when taking a closer look at his time in the military, it quickly becomes clear that he wasn't heroic at all. On July 31, 1967, McCain was solely responsible for the horrifying atrocity aboard the USS Forrestal Aircraft Carrier, where his cocky maneuver of doing a wet start of his plane would go on to kill 134 sailors in the deadliest loss of life the Navy has ever seen. Since McCain's father and grandfather were four-star admirals, he was able to have the entire incident buried and go on serving in the military as if nothing had happened. Just 3 months later, McCain was sent on a bombing mission over Hanoi, where he was shot down and captured by the North Vietnamese. He was kept as a prisoner of war until 1973, when he was finally released, and his image as a Vietnam War hero would go on to propel him to be elected as a United States Senator. While most Americans are familiar with this story, the majority of them are not aware of the massive government scandal that McCain helped hide, as he'd go on for decades to tirelessly work to bury stunning information about American prisoners over in Vietnam who, unlike him, didn't return home. As a U.S. Senator, McCain worked behind the scenes to push federal laws that would keep the most damning information about our pals buried through classified documents. The secrets that McCain helped hide about Vietnam pals are massive and disturbing. Though 2 defense secretaries gave sworn testimony about the men left behind in Vietnam, McCain assisted the U.S. government in pretending they did not exist. The senator continued to push the massive lie that there were no survivors, much to the horror of POW families who were frantic to know the truth about what happened to their loved ones. Tons of government documents show that hundreds of prisoners held in Vietnam were not returned when President Nixon signed the peace treaty in January of 1973. Only 591 POWs were released at this time, including McCain. Nixon had promised the Vietnamese a $3.25 billion in post-war reconstruction aid without any political conditions. However, the catch to this was that Nixon had included that Congress would have to approve these funds, approval that never happened. When they realized they had been double-crossed, the enraged Vietnamese decided to keep the remaining hundreds of American prisoners, because their ransom money, post-war provisions, never came. As the years went by, the U.S. government became more and more desperate to keep these men a secret, as it would have looked bad were it revealed that American lawmakers had abandoned them. It took years for CIA officials to admit that their intel indicated that the remaining POWs were eventually executed by the Vietnamese, as they were no longer useful bargaining chips. In the end, McCain played a pivotal role in sweeping the entire atrocity of these forgotten POWs under the rug. Share this story so we can expose his secret.